When Apple cut the deal with Major League Soccer only 2+ years ago, where Major League Soccer was going to be behind the paywall and there was going to be a league digital pass that you would have to pay for to access Major League Soccer games, and they gave a piece of that to Messi when he joined Miami. I remember thinking to myself that if I were even on the edge, the prohibitive cost of getting Apple TV plus MLS package, which was behind a further paywall. The prohibitive cost brought me from the edge of interest into the abyss of apathy. And I'm talking about me. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. And I was not going to allocate the money to get the package. Well, here we are in year 3 of the Apple MLS deal. And you're beginning to hear Major League Soccer complain. You're beginning to hear owners chirp. It's all happening with sources off the record. But you're beginning to understand that the deal is not exactly worked out the way that MLS had intended. Because, of course, the way MLS viewed it at the time is that Don Garber cut this deal, the commissioner, and said, look, we are a league that is mature enough today to withstand the pay model. We are a league that has enough interest, that has enough superstars that we are going to be able to capture the attention and money of the people on the edge. Remember, the avid fans, when you do a study, you basically get a report back and you talk about fanfinity is the word that I like to use. Fanfinity is where a fan is on the scale of giving you their money. There are the people who go to 81 games a year. Those are people are at the edge of fanfinity. We love Bruce and Sue. There are season ticket holders who buy season tickets every year, whether you win 100, lose 100, whether you're projected to win 100 or lose 100, whether you trade all your players or sign all your players. There are people who will watch every single game in person. And it goes all the way down the fanfinity scope to people who have some awareness that there's a team in their city. And we are constantly trying to keep that pipeline filled and keep people moving up the pipeline. What Major League Soccer forgot is that their pipeline is far less mature than baseball's. As a league, the fanfinity score for Major League Soccer, no matter how much you want to hear that the franchises are worth $1 billion and stadiums are getting built and expansion fees are growing, the reality is that Major League Soccer in the fanfinity world of measurement is not near where baseball, basketball, and football are. Which is why you are seeing only 3 years in Major League Soccer change as much of the deal as they can change, even though they're in the middle of a 10-year deal. Apple got together with Major League Soccer and they addressed some of these issues. There's a Sunday night soccer game now that you'll get to watch, and all you have to do is have Apple TV. You can have DirecTV. It's as close to linear as Major League Soccer has been, where they do have games on Fox and FS1. But when I talk about part of the Apple deal, which is where a majority of their content lives, Apple and MLS realized they had to do more in front of the paywall as opposed to everything behind it. That's an acknowledgement only 2 years into a deal that it's not working out the way you expected it to work out. And it's not going to change fast enough. As a matter of fact, one GM said to The Athletic, they have to end the deal with Apple. It's bad for the fans. Another one said, I think we have to be on more linear outlets. Does this sound familiar? Major League Baseball? We have to be on ABC, NBC, Fox more regularly because I think a lot more people watched our games when we were in that space. I think Apple and the whole streaming thing is really innovative, and it's probably where things will be going, but I don't think that MLS is the leader of that. This is an anonymous GM talking to The Athletic. How does this end? This ends with the reality that there are 7 years left. It ends with the reality that there is an opt-out that Apple has after the 2027 season. Why would Apple take an opt-out if they are generally profiting from the deal with MLS? They wouldn't. The reason Apple would opt out of the deal after 2027, if in fact the production costs of having the games, everything else is part of their deal with MLS, if they have realized, like ESPN did with MLB, that in fact the juice has not been worth the squeeze. From MLS's standpoint, they are going to go to Apple and they are going to work together to reformulate this deal. And I don't think it's going to wait till 2027. I think right now what you're going to see is Apple and MLS get together and figure out a renegotiation that will allow, forget the opt-out after 27. I think you're going to see changes after 25. I think you'll see the changes in 2026 because Don Garber has one thing above all. He wants to be in the top four. He wants to be with football at the table and baseball and basketball and hockey. He wants to take advantage of where he perceives world soccer to be, understanding that American soccer has never been what international football has been. He has to view his league still, even though there's been excitement and big names coming, in its infancy. It is in its nascent behavior as it relates to media rights and optimizing those rights and capitalizing on all of their quiver, all of their stuff, all of their content. So what Apple is doing now is they get in a room with MLS and they started to figure out things they could implement quickly, which was, let's get people outside the paywall. Let's get the games available as other places where Apple TV is. However, we don't want to make them buy the whole season. MLS, of course, was good with that. They want more. So then they're going to say to MLS, is there any way that you would allow more non-exclusive games? Would you allow us to take yet another package outside of your paywall and get it onto a different channel, get it onto a different mode of distribution? To which MLS will look at them and say, will that impact our subs? Will that impact our ability to make money when we've lost over the first 2 years? And then they'll look at each other and they'll say, it's just business.